Apologies, our sign language interpreter is Damien Evans. Now, tonight, a Nairobi court has found Joseph Irungu, alias Jowie, guilty of murdering businesswoman Monica Kimani. Justice Grace Nzioka, who has presided over the murder case for the last 6 years, also found journalist Jacque Maribe not guilty of murder and acquitted her. The judge, while delivering her judgment, said the prosecution had unequivocally established that Jowie was the perpetrator of Monica Kimani's murder. Irungu will now be sentenced on March 8, 2024. Our very own Ode Francis was in the corridors of justice where the judgment was delivered after 6 years of hearing.
During the judgment, Judge Nzioka spent approximately 3 hours detailing how the testimony of 35 witnesses proved that Joseph Irungu, alias Jowie, killed businesswoman Monica Kimani on September 18th of 2018.
The prosecution has proved beyond reasonable doubt all the ingredients of the offense of murder, the death occurred, the cause of that death, the person who, and in this case the first accused, I'm still on the first accused person, committed that offense. It was not a case of homicide. Excusable homicide, it was unlawful.
The judge carefully outlined the events leading up to, during and after Monica's murder. After evaluating the evidence,
the first accused person stole the ID of Dominic Bisera 2 days prior to the commission of the offense, armed himself with a gun, carried a counsel, put it over his cloth, went to Ramuria Gardens, disguised his identity, gained access to the apartment of the deceased, murdered the deceased, left the deceased house, changed his clothes, and eventually went home and burnt the cloth which he wore during the commission of the offense. It is the finding of this court that all this evidence taken culminatively leads to a strong conclusion that the first accused person murdered the deceased.
The court determined Jowie's guilt on Monica's death.
Therefore, I find the first accused person guilty as charged herein of the offense of murder, that on the night of 19th of September 2018, at an unknown time at Ramuria Gardens apartment, Kitare Lane off Dennis Pritt, with others known before this court, he murdered Monica Nyawira Kimani.
Regarding the second suspect, journalist Jacque Maribe, the evidence failed to directly implicate her in Monica Kimani's murder.
The evidence by the prosecution against the second accused person did not place the second accused person in the house of the deceased on the material night. There was no evidence that she had ever communicated with the deceased. The evidence that the prosecution have brought before this court on the second accused person relates to the events of 20th of September 2018, and that is the shooting incident. And the second accused person, having had no objection to her two statements which she gave the police. One, saying that the second accused person, the first accused, was shot in the house, and then retracting that statement the following day, only leads this court to the provisions of Section 129 of the Penal Code.
Justice Nzioka faulted the prosecution for the manner it preferred charges against the former television anchor. She said Maribe should not have been charged with murder, but rather providing misleading and conflicting information about the case.
It is my considered view that the charge brought against the second accused person was not the proper charge.
After the judge's finding, Jowie will now come back to the court on 8th March to be sentenced.
Now, as Jacque Maribe leaves the Milimani Law Courts using the front door, Joseph Irungu uses the back door from the same building as a convict. He will be brought back in the same building using the back door on 8th for sentencing. That is 8th March 2024. Ode Francis, KTN News, Milimani.
It was joy like no other for Jacque Maribe and her family after the former TV newscaster was found not guilty in the morning.